This edition, and into 2021 we hope to continue this program to help us keep our marriages healthy. And this is the Christmas edition. So this Christmas season, we want you to have a very good time with your family, with your husband, with your wife. Praise God. So you are welcome to this program. If you leave a comment, I will see you and welcome you to the program. But before then, we can just continue with our conversations. So, like I said, conversation is not a one person's thing. It is our thing today. And the topic is keeping your marriage healthy. So, welcome. So, before my husband joins me, I want to lay a foundation. First of all, I have already laid the foundation of the direction we are going today, that it's a conversation. So, your questions should be ready, whether for yourself or for your brother, your sister, your neighbor, whoever it is that you want to ask a question for. This is the time. So keeping your marriage healthy is the topic. Now, there are signs of healthy marriage and there are signs of unhealthy marriage. Maybe some other time we can talk about that. But if your marriage is not healthy, if another person's marriage that is not healthy, people know also, because it shows in the way you live. Like a restless life, sort of, and you lack peace. You lack the inner joy that everyone has. If you have good people around you, you should be able to reflect some inner joy no matter what you're going through. Praise God. So you're welcome to the program. So I will start with the importance of personal goals. Now, one of the ways to have a balanced relationship is to seek out your personal goals in life. Your goals are tied to your purpose. You may not know everything about your purpose. Yeah, but you should know a little about where you ought to be going. You should know, that inner piece of where you should be. And your goals in life are tied to where you want to be. You make your goals, related to where you want to be. So when you seek out your personal goals, and then you pursue to grow in them, you deliberately pursue to grow in them, that is one of the ways to make yourself a healthy person to live with, a healthy person that can contribute to another person's life. And that is one of the ways you can keep your marriage healthy. So it is okay to live a life that sort of depends on others, because they are there to support you. Your children are there to support you. Your husband is there to support you. People are there to support you. But then it is your responsibility to make goals out of where you want to be, to give direction to those who want to support you. And that is one of the ways to keep your marriage healthy. That way, when you are accomplishing your goals, you are happy as a person. You're welcome, Barbara Charles. You're welcome. Yeah, good to have you here. Now, keeping your marriage healthy depends so much on this. And this anchor scripture we're going to be using is in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22 to 31. That scripture is God's wisdom for relationships. It's full of wisdom. You can read it in different versions, simpler versions of the Bible, from King James to New Living Translation to NIV to HCSB. These scriptures will help you to grasp the wisdom that helps you to know how to live a life that is healthy and then contribute to a healthy marriage, a balanced marriage. Now, people who are in balanced marriages tend to live a life that is fulfilling. So if your marriage is not balanced, if you are having issues with yourself, it may not be the other person who is around you. It may just be that you need to grow. So seeking out your personal goals and growing towards them is one of the best ways to live a balanced life and to contribute to a healthy marriage. Help me welcome my husband. Is going to be joining us. Yeah, so we're having these conversations together. He is one person that has helped me grow. Hallelujah. Everywhere I say it, that God has blessed me with a good husband who has good intentions for me. And I owe God the glory. I give God the praise. And that is why I want to share with you how your marriage can also be healthy, how you can live a healthy life and a balanced life. So when even life comes with challenges and issues that seem difficult, once you have that support system around you, and you are healthy as a person, you tend to overcome your challenges easily, and you go forward in fulfilling purpose. It's a good journey, a journey full of adventures. Life is good, and we can take you with this journey with us. Praise the Lord. So I want to first of all ask God's servant our signs of a healthy marriage.
Okay.
Like if you like one or two, yeah, just one or two. There are so many signs, but
Okay. Well, one very important sign of a healthy marriage is active communication.
yeah,
Active communication. Another sign of a healthy marriage is active sexual life.
great.
So, two.
Yeah, so help us expand on that. Healthy communication. How do you get through to the other person? Because this is a person full of many ideas, many desires, perspective to life. How do you get through to your spouse?
I believe that one of the things that we should do is learn to understand the other person.
Okay.
When you understand the other person, it becomes easy to know how to communicate to that person. We are usually different people with people of different temperaments, and so different personalities. But when you understand the other person, know the other person's disposition, that should give you an in route on how to communicate with that person. Another thing that helps communication is practicing it. You can't just sit by and have your communication life grow. You have to practice communicating. You have to make time. You have to endeavor. You have to create an environment where you can communicate. You keep at it until it grows.
Until it grows. Okay,
Yes.
so when it grows, it's easier to overcome conflicts. Like when there are disagreements and maybe conflict come up. Not every couple, know themselves well before they get married.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then also different couples face different issues in life. Complicated issues can show up and then can really block communication because this other person is weighed down with what they are going through, and you trying to help, they try to bounce you back. In such situations, how do you make the other person really come up to know that, look, I'm on your side, I know I can help you out of this?
I think people should understand that conflicts by themselves are not necessarily a bad thing.
Yes.
Because there are different kinds of conflicts. Some conflicts are destructive, some conflicts are constructive.
Yes.
Okay, and then the outcome of conflicts is determined by the maturity with which the people handle the conflicts. Okay, so conflicts are bound to happen when one person doesn't understand the position of the other person. Conflicts are bound to happen when when a methodology, an idea, a strategy doesn't appear agreeable to the other person. Now, so there are many reasons why there can be conflicts, but these are just a few. Now, but what do you do when there are conflicts? If a conflict is born out of a disagreement with a position, an idea, a manner of thinking, then it should be discussed. For me, husband and wife, one sign of maturity should be or is the willingness to talk about something. I should be able to make my case on a position, and I should be willing to take or listen to what the other person has to say about my position. And then we should both be objective enough to where if your position is better, we should go with it. Because eventually we're looking at the well-being of the family. It shouldn't be about an individual. It should be about what's best for the team, what's best for the home. So discuss these things and be open to accept which is better, even if it's not yours. Because there's this thing about sometimes people feel bad because it's not their idea that is taken, so but maturity should in a good spirit of sportsmanship, you should be able to accept that, okay, from what you've said and from what we've seen, your idea might be better, and so let's go with it for the benefit of the betterment of the team, the family. So
wow, that's really awesome. You see, so challenges in your marriage are not there to break two of you. They are not really there to make two of you to be so conflicted, not to be able to come to a consensus, like an agreement. So mature people who go into marriage know that they will face challenges. They know that, the other person may not understand them sometimes. They also know that they may have inner frustrations, personal ones, not because of the person around you or what the people in the family, but it could just be that you're frustrated based on your own limited understanding of where you ought to be or where you ought to be going, what you ought to be doing. These are conflicted stuff. So that's why I started with your purpose. When you understand your purpose in life, for instance, right, and you seek out your personal goals in life, and you try to grow in them. You try to make yourself a balanced person and grow and kind of make yourself a mature person. You tend to handle life in a better way.
Right. There's a notification here that the picture is sideways, actually. So we need to adjust
the camera.
Yeah. Did you rotate?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Just a minute. Just a minute, people. Oh, it's a screen rotation. So why is it sideways?
Sideways? Really? Okay, let's get. Do other people have the picture on their screen sideways? Let's know how your screen is. Let's be sure that it's not.
Okay, so someone said the picture is or the video is sideways.
Yeah.
So we want to know if that's how everyone is saying it. We may have to make some adjustments here. Yeah. So I don't know why it's so, but okay. Let's continue until we figure out what to do. If your picture is sideways, would you please just let us know, and let's see if we can make an adjustment to the position of the camera.
Yeah, so just type it in and let's know. Okay, but we can just continue. We can continue. We want you to have a fulfilling marriage. We want you to be happy. That's why we're here. We want your marriage to be healthy, so that you can be healthy individuals that go out there not so frustrated to make other people uncomfortable around you.
Sideways.
It's for everyone.
Yes.
So it means we have to do something. Okay.
What shall we do now?
Don't need this way. Probably that's what is possible.
What did you say? It's on screen rotation.
Yeah, this is screen rotation. Auto rotate. So I don't know. Yes, the video is sideways. That's really serious.
What shall we do now?
Well, thank you for notifying us. I think
we may have to hold it.
Yes.
Just take it out gently.
So just give us a moment, please.
Let's see what we can do. 1 minute, everyone. Well, is it okay now? Hold it this way. I'll get my stand. Just on yourself.
Okay, let's know if that's okay. We want to use another stand, so let's know. Okay, perfect now. Okay, thank you. So a moment, my husband wants to bring another stand so that we can use another stand. I think it was the stand we were using that caused that. All right, so but at this time, please feel free to converse, because it's actually a conversation. Don't let us do all the talking. Yeah. So it's perfect this way. Okay. Is this okay?
We'll try. We'll try. Yeah, just go on.
Okay, so yeah. Yes, you're welcome. The previous view is better because we can't see Pastor Ike now. No, he went out. He's back now. Can you see him now?
I'm right here.
He went to bring another stand. You should be able to see him now.
Yeah, let's just go.
Okay, so let's go on. We were talking about the importance of having personal goals, seeking out your personal goals, growing in them, tying your personal goals to your purpose. Living a fulfilling life is based on your purpose. It is based on taking personal responsibility for your life. That way you are healthy and you can bring a balanced personality to the relationship, and that makes a marriage healthy. And we also talked about conflict, communication, how you are able to get through to the other person, because the other person sometimes may have a stand, or they may not agree to your own way of trying to solve a problem, and then conflicts come up, especially for couples who didn't really know themselves very well before they got married, or for those of you who are not married yet. This is the time to know that is a crucial area. Communication. You must know how to get through to the other person. Well, we're not talking about 5 languages of love, first of all, because that's a way of showing love to the other person in a way that they understand. That is different from the general communication, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we may talk about that another time, but today we're trying to talk about conflict resolution that can help two of you come to an agreement to go forward and make healthy choices for the marriage. And my husband talked about being able to take decisions as a team, that sometimes your decision may not be taken because one is better than the other concerning the situation as at hand. Whenever a situation is up and you need to take a choice or make a choice, sometimes you should let the choice that help the marriage as a team to be taken. So the choice that makes the marriage stronger and healthier should be the choice that you go for. For instance, if you want to make career choices, I don't mean the type of career you want to choose. Let's say you have an issue in the office and you're given a promotion, and you need to maybe travel to another country to be able to do that work. And your husband or wife says, I don't want to leave my job here. Why don't you seek for transfer to another place that two of us can work around? Because for me, that is not going to be good for me. So the marriage should come first. That's what we're saying. The point is, let the marriage come first. Let the team, decide. Let what helps the team be the choice, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that way conflict will be reduced. And then that's for general situations. For personal stuff, if the other person has issues, we have said that if somebody has issues and you want to get to the other person, like help them, understand the way the person takes information,
understand the way the person thinks, understand the person's
the way the person thinks,
and then make efforts to communicate, make efforts to interact. There must be a willingness to talk together, a willingness to discuss, and to come to terms with issues.
Okay, right. So I'm sure you are getting all of that side. And we said that challenges in marriage are not supposed to break two of you apart. You are not supposed to be afraid of them. They ought to make two of you one, because solving them together is the adventure that is in marriage. That's the adventure, being able to overcome your challenges together, figure out a way to go forward is the joy that is in marriage. So look forward to that joy. For those of you who are not married, don't be afraid to be married. Whatever comes, you can overcome. And that is the joy and the adventure that is in marriage. Being able to help the other person. So let's talk about help, not just seeking out your personal goals and growing towards them. What about supporting the other person to achieve their goals? What should a spouse do to try to support the other person to achieve their personal goals?
Okay, this is a lot, because I think that sometimes the challenge is that one person doesn't even know exactly what they want to do. Okay, so now when you talk about supporting someone, it should start with the person who desires to be supported, understanding exactly where they want to go and what they want to do. It can be very trying, can be quite discouraging if you try to support someone who doesn't even know exactly what they want to do with themselves. Because it can be this today, and then you try to get behind it. Then it's another thing the next day. You try to get behind it. It's another thing the next week. Then another thing the next week. And another thing the next week. When a person acts confused, I think the first support is not to pour resources and all of that. The first support is helping them really figure out where they're going with their lives. Because resources are wasted, not only financial resources, time, and other resources are wasted when you do not know where this person really is going. So before you begin to pour resources into supporting the other person, there should be a clear-cut direction as to where the person is going. What do they really want to do with their lives? Are they sure about it? Do they really understand it? Or are they just acting impulsively? Are they acting on the spur of the moment? Are they acting because they are temporarily frustrated and so they just want to do any kind of thing? So I think the best support comes in first helping someone figure out where they want to go with their lives, and then you can start thinking of putting in other resources that can actualize that direction or that vision.
People, a lot of marriages, like we speak to a lot of couples, right? And we know that sometimes an individual in the marriage does not want to push, and they don't want to take personal responsibility for their life. So that is exactly what he's saying right now. Life actually can be fulfilling when you personally take your life as a responsibility. That's where it starts from. That's how you can have a healthy marriage, when you are serious with your life. And you should know that nothing really comes very easy. So marriage is not an easy way out to, once you marry, the other person should carry all your burdens. No. You marry, take responsibility, and also support the other person. So you are having even more work to do. That's how you should see it. That will help you to grow personally and to live towards a fulfilling life. And the marriage can be held that way. Another thing I want to point out here is sometimes too, the sensitivity, in relating can also be a problem. How should people be sensitive to one another in a marriage? Someone can be smiling and the person is not fine.
Yeah, but sincerely, if you live with someone who is your wife, or you live with someone who's your husband, you should be able to decipher, even if someone is smiling, if the person is not fine, you should know.
Sometimes they're too busy. You are too busy to really figure out that there's a problem.
You shouldn't be too busy to figure out your partner.
It means that that's the responsibility. You should
Your
know
first
that there's the person beside you or sleeping on the same bed with you is your responsibility in a way.
Your first responsibility in the family is your spouse.
Yeah.
And so, how busy can you be to where you neglect your most important responsibility? Because your first responsibility in the family is your spouse. That's your most important assignment in the family, your spouse. In the family system, in a family setting, your first responsibility is your spouse. You can't be too busy. You can't be too busy. But I want to say one thing about sensitivity. Sometimes people are not just careful enough. Now, if a person makes it a priority in their lives to be mindful of or to look to the welfare of the other person, there is a likelihood that they can understand the nuances or the slight differences that may not be very obvious to the casual observer. They can see something, they can notice a change. But sometimes people are not thoughtful enough, people are not mindful enough, because they have not deliberately determined that this is important. When a person determines that this is an important part of their lives, an important part of their responsibility, sincerely, they will see things. They will notice slight differences. They would know when something is not right, even when there's a smile just hanging there.
That's right. So I want us to create a balance here. Trying to fix your partner, which is not your work. That's where patience comes in, right? Patience and understanding. We need to balance that aspect. Like, you need patience when you know that someone need to grow, maybe in a certain area, or need to wake up to a certain responsibility that you want them to wake up to. Sometimes patience is required and understanding in handling it, because you cannot fix the other person's life. You cannot. If you fix it rapidly, you may break something. You can break somebody's soul. I've seen that in some marriages where one person wants to fix the other person. It's not your responsibility to fix the other person, because trying to do that sometimes is manipulative. So let us see that giving your support is different from being manipulative. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, it is
Draw
not.
a thin line. It's a very thin line.
While it is not your responsibility to fix the other person's life, okay, it is your responsibility to endeavor to create an atmosphere that can stimulate this person, okay, to align with God, for his or her life to be fixed. And then I would say one of the most frustrating things in a home, is when this person refuses to take responsibility. Because the helper or the supporter, is most encouraged when a person makes a move, takes a step, makes an attempt in the direction of responsibility. So problems usually happen when one person is trying to help, trying to assist, trying to create that enabling environment, and the person who needs the help or who needs to be straightened out is not even making an attempt, making any effort to show that he's responding to medication.
That's right. So that brings frustration, and it makes a marriage unhealthy.
Right.
And then the individuals become affected, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Once you're affected psychologically, emotionally, you become destabilized. Right. So you become really, really destabilized. And that's not good for anyone out there, even in your job, your business, anywhere. People you come in contact with outside, So having a healthy marriage is very, very crucial. It's crucial, but we want you to know that the issue of your personal goals, seeking out your personal goals and growing towards them and supporting each other person's goal, conflict resolution by communicating right. We have talked about understanding the other person. You study. You don't compare. You study the other person. You don't compare them with anybody, but you try to show compassion. Show compassion, which is very, very important. Show compassion. The issue of patience, responsibility will help us to go forward, right? And make sure that the marriage is healthy at all times. Because if the marriage is healthy, like I said, every other person in the house will feel good. Your children will be in a healthy environment, and life will be easier, right? Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Life will be easier. So let's leave that aspect. How do we trust enough? Because the issue of trust is really a problem. There's a statement I think I read somewhere, which is very good. I believe is right. That without trust, there's no relationship.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if you don't trust someone, just know that there is no relationship. It's just like us not trusting God. If you can't trust God enough, you will run to babalawos and all of this, to seek out your solutions. Mm-hmm. Or you may take another God in your heart or something. Believe in people more than God.
Okay.
So trust.
Well, trust. I'd like to talk about two very important aspects of trust. One is personal integrity, and then the second one is insecurity. Now, let me say this, that you can encourage trust, right, by living a life of integrity and being consistent where there's a track record that you have character, you are morally upright,
yes,
and you are a principled person, a person of integrity. Now, but you see, when you violate the principles of integrity through craftiness, cunning behavior, strategic witchcraft
and manipulation,
manipulation,
nagging,
and
probably.
Some of those kind of things. You have some secret agenda that unfolds in a stealthy way. All of that kind of behavior will put question marks on your life. Now, the second part of trust is the challenge of insecurity. Sometimes the integrity is in place, character is in place, but the other person has a challenge of insecurity. And because they have a challenge of insecurity, it really doesn't matter to them that this partner is upright, this partner is principled, this partner, they feel that if they can't control what that partner does, who he relates with, and if they cannot control that partner, they just feel that they don't trust him. Now, so that's a problem. So two things. We must endeavor to live lives of integrity and have a track record of integrity and moral uprightness. But we must also be secure, because integrity might be in place, moral uprightness might be in place, but the other person just still doesn't trust because everything appears wrong. Everything appears like a threat.
That's right.
Everybody around that person is a threat.
So we must avoid strategic witchcraft. Yes. Manipulation. Controlling the other person to your own detriment. Don't control anyone. It's unhealthy to do that in a marriage.
And you know that, right? Sometimes some people are socially deficient.
Yeah.
And so you have the other partner who is, I'm not even talking about being sanguine and so very extrovertish, He might just be the person that relates more. Yeah. But you have the person who doesn't want to relate with anybody and has a problem with this person relating with anybody. So these are the things that can tamper with trust. These are unnecessary insecurities that can tamper with trust, which shouldn't be. So there's got to be that balance of being both a person of integrity and dealing with insecurity. Okay, there's a question there.
But we are going to talk about the second aspect, the sex in marriage. you said that is one aspect that helps rebuild and make a healthy marriage.
Okay,
we have a very short time to round up this. So,
okay, how do you rebuild trust
when it's lost?
Okay, I would speak generally and very quickly, right? It depends on what broke the trust. If trust was broken because maybe someone told a lie and then this other person found out that, oh, this was a lie. You tricked me. You deceived me. There are people, there are many different things that can break trust. There are people who got married and one person didn't know that this person probably had children before the marriage and didn't say until they got married, or something really terrible happened that the other partner ought to have known before they got into the relationship and then didn't say and was hiding all of these details and so on. It depends on what broke the trust. Or it might be that, okay, someone had an affair and then trust was broken. Whatever it is, it could be anything. You must first identify what broke the trust. Number two, all right? Number two, you have to take responsibility for what has happened. Now, I'm speaking generally.
Yes.
Whoever is the offending party must take responsibility for what has happened. Three, must demonstrate consistently that they are making amends.
Exactly.
You see, when trust is broken, it's not regained overnight. I can assure you, even when there is forgiveness, it doesn't happen overnight. So that person has to be consistent and should be patient, okay, until he becomes transparent in what he's consistent at.
Exactly.
Okay, so in the process of time, that person would see that not only is this person sorry, but this person has taken the steps, and they can see that the person has consistently taken steps to make amends. It's only at that point that trust can begin to sprout again, in summary.
Yeah, great. So let's talk about the aspect of sex in marriage.
Okay.
Probably we can deal with that another time because our time is running out.
Okay. I would speak a little to sex in marriage. But I think we should have one session on sex in marriage.
Okay.
Okay. So, but I would say something little. I would say in my interaction with couples, through the years, I can just mention a few things that I believe can help couples in their sexual relationship. When you get married, you realize that in many cases, the sexual libido of the two people are at different levels. One person sometimes has a higher sex drive than the other person. That's not a problem by itself. It only becomes a problem when the two people do not recognize that, and when they do not try to reconcile that difference.
Be on the same page.
I've seen cases where maybe a man doesn't care much about sex, but the woman, oh my, she wants it every day. There are cases where a woman doesn't really care about sex. She doesn't care whether she gets it once in 2 months or once a month, but a man is wondering why he can't get it 3 times a day. Okay, they have to recognize that. And they have to do something about it. There is something about sex education that repositions the mind. Sex is primarily a mind thing. And I can tell you that once some adjustments are made in the mind here and there, just a few adjustments that come with knowledge and proper teaching, adjustments are made, and there is a psychological release that happens. Okay, there are also cases where someone is frigid, like really cold, and has an almost zero sexual appetite. All of these things can be helped. Okay, but these two people need to recognize that this is what's going on with them, and then they need to be willing to make adjustments. But generally, you would see that when sex is frequent, there is a certain stickability that happens between husband and wife. May I also say that sex is an emotion stabilizer, an emotion booster. It's like a vaccine. Okay? Just that this vaccine is not the
Not
one
for
you take
COVID-19.
once and forever. This vaccine
For COVID-19.
needs constant renewal. Constant renewal is a very powerful vaccine. Okay. So there is a tendency to be more emotionally powerful, as it were. More emotionally powerful as a married person when you're sexually satisfied. Someone once said, and I've quoted this many times, that the sexual libido satisfied within the home does not thirst for more outside.
That's right.
Unless that person is just a wicked person and his heart is wrong. But if a person is sexually satisfied in their home, no matter what, let me tell you the truth. The average person, the average man, overcomes sexual temptation almost daily in his life.
Right.
Almost daily in his life. Now, I am not saying the lack of sex is a good excuse to look outside, to sleep with someone else. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I consider adultery as one of the worst things you can do to yourself. I consider it as stooping to a below zero level of life. You know, it's not something you should do apart from the spiritual implications and the harm it can do to your home and the spiritual windows it can open to the devil. Let's not even go there. Okay. So, but sexual satisfaction is very important. Let's come to this another time. I promise you,
Yeah.
it will be a full session.
So the next one is still going to be, it's your marriage, keep it healthy. Like I said, the whole of 2021 will be here to help you keep your marriage healthy. So there's a lot to talk about, and then you should put your questions for other people, for yourself, ready for another time. And it promises to be much more educative as we go on. And I tell you that God is on your side and you will enjoy your marriage. God bless you. But for now, for want of time, we need to shut down. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for connecting from Canada, from UK, from Nigeria, from US here. God bless all of you. Now we'll talk about signs of unhealthy marriage and even signs of a healthy marriage in next episodes. We will talk about a lot of things. So get ready and follow. God bless you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. It was good to have you guys on, and we're looking forward to connecting with you again. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.